Hey guys, today I'm going to react to this video about Elon Musk's daily routine. I'm pretty curious how he does it because I know he has so many companies like Tesla, SpaceX, Solar City, the Boring Company, and a bunch of other companies. And I'm a very busy person myself, and I always try to find ways to be more efficient with my time. So I'm curious to see uh, what his routine looks like.
He's the real-life Iron Man, the mind behind Tesla, SpaceX, The Boring Company, PayPal, and more. He's known to work 20 hours a day, 120 hours a week,
Wait, what?
and has admitted
I thought his thing was 100 hours, but that's crazy, 120.
to sleeping on the conference room table at Tesla just so he can squeeze in a little more work time. This man is Elon Musk. He's worth $170.3 billion at the time of writing this video, and he's been quite vocal about his daily routine. Time to take notes. We've got the breakdown for you right here, from what his mornings look like, to his workday, to even his hobbies. Hey, start implementing some of Elon's methods, and you may find you're on the path to becoming one of the richest. Let's start right at the beginning of the day. For Elon Musk, that starts at 7 a.m.
Okay.
Musk makes sure that he will get 6 to 6.5 hours of sleep each night. Through a bit of trial and error, he found that this is the perfect amount of sleep for him, and he prioritizes it. He was quoted in a Reddit AMA as
I definitely need at least 8. Like, I've done 6 before and it's not good.
saying, "Sleep is really great. I find if I don't get enough sleep, I'm quite grumpy. I could drop below a certain threshold of sleep. Although I would be awake more hours, I would get less done because my mental acuity would be affected. After
I swear, Elon Musk is like a robot. The way he thinks about stuff, it's like he's not even thinking about his health per se. I feel like he's thinking of like, okay, how much sleep do I actually need to be functional, but not like undersleep. But I don't know, I just think it's funny how a lot of things he thinks like a robot, and I feel like not as much as a human.
he's up and moving, Musk usually skips his breakfast. He finds that this will save him a bit of time in the morning. But this is not always the case. When he does eat, he makes sure it's a high-protein meal, like an omelet, and he'll have it with a cup of coffee. After that, Elon will take part in what he considers his most important daily routine, a shower. You heard that right. One of the richest men on the planet's secret daily routine is to hop in the shower. He claims that while he's hosing off, that's when some of his best ideas come to him. And believe it or not, there's some science to back this up. Shelley H. Carson, a researcher and psychologist at Harvard University and author of Your Creative Brain, a book all about unlocking your imagination and productivity, has stated taking a bit of time off from a problem is the best way for your brain to find the solution to it. She goes on to say that by focusing on whatever problem is in front of you for too long, you may develop inherent biases, and that will keep you thinking in the same unproductive manner. But doing a simple task like taking a
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, there's something that's bothering me so much, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I can't. So sometimes I kind of just work on something else, and then over time I kind of figure out the solution to the thing I was trying to figure out earlier.
shower and lathering up your hair can spark new parts of the brain, and this in turn can jumpstart some free association in your mind. Before you know it, you'll be more innovative, more productive, and more creative than before when you were a stinky, sweaty mess. And to think, Elon figured this one out on his own. What a guy. Another morning routine for Mr. Musk that is a bit more
I mean, in a way, I mean, morning showers is pretty normal for a lot of people. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's not that special, but okay.
on the rarer side, but does indeed happen, is physical fitness. Although we do want to point out that when he appeared on Joe Rogan podcast, he confessed to Rogan, "I wouldn't exercise at all if I could." Sounds like he's not much of a fan. But he does indeed get out and about. Musk will lift weights, run, and has been known to take part in Taekwondo, Karate, Judo, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Apparently, he likes to dance too, as evidenced by some of his
That's crazy. So he's into martial arts. I had no idea.
Shall we say, unique dance moves that
I'm like, what kind of dance moves are those?
that he has displayed at a Tesla event. Closing out his morning, Elon will see his kids off to school and then drive over to either Tesla or SpaceX, usually in his Tesla Model X, a $79,990 car. Moving on to the midday of this billionaire, we find that he splits his time fairly evenly between his two largest companies, SpaceX and Tesla, with Tesla winning out ever so slightly in terms of weekly hours. For Musk, 42 hours of his week are spent at Tesla, and 40 are at SpaceX. And when he's
That's
at work,
crazy.
oh boy, you can bet he's giving
Like the average person does 40, and he's doing double that already.
it his full focus. Musk has stated he's not as good about his nutrition as he should be, and many times he will scarf down his lunch during an afternoon meeting. Speaking of meetings, Musk hates them, and honestly, we don't blame him. He has his time at work perfectly scheduled.
Oh yeah, I mean I could see that too, cause I mean obviously I don't know Elon Musk personally, but all the interviews I've seen of him and the way I guess the way I personally feel about it, I feel like he's more of like an engineer. Like I think he said in one of his interviews that he's 20% CEO and 80% as an engineer. Like I feel like he's more of like wants to actually work on this projects. He doesn't want to have to deal with all the business meetings and have to respond to the shareholders. I feel like that's just probably so annoying for him. It's like a tedious thing that he has to do, but it's not actually what he likes doing. But he knows he needs to do it because he was trying to get the funding to start his company.
Out, and meetings, they just get in the way of all the good stuff, like the engineering of his cars, making sure that they look and feel perfect, and also making sure his factories are
like how annoying that would be if you're working on a project trying to create this like perfect car and then constantly being like, oh, you go to this meeting, you go to that meeting, stop what you're doing, go to this meeting, and just like it would just be so annoying if you had to like work on a project and you're constantly getting asked to do something else you don't want to do. You just want to work on your project.
Running as efficiently as possible. Musk hates meetings so much that he has even sent out a list of rules about them to his workers. Large meetings are banned unless they are absolutely necessary. Frequent meetings are a no-no as well, and are only allowed if a matter is urgent. Any and everyone is allowed to walk out of a meeting at any time as soon as they realize they aren't needed. Musk doesn't want anyone to waste their time due to formalities. Finally,
I mean, that's so true, because I mean I've seen this happen so much, even at my current job, where we'll have all these meetings, and you're just like, what's this meeting about? Like, why is this even necessary? Like, sometimes I get it, like, there's stuff we need to know, but sometimes you're just like, are we just kind of going through the same routine? Just, let's have a meeting just to have a meeting. I'm like, what's the point? It's like, not majority of the time, things don't change, so I totally get why he doesn't like doing that.
there is a ban on acronyms or nonsense words for objects, software, or processes at Tesla. The idea here is that anyone should be able to talk to anyone else in any department, and information shouldn't be stopped just because one department uses jargon that another isn't familiar with. In total, Musk has claimed he works 120-hour work weeks, but boy, does it pay off. On average, per day, Elon will make $383 million.
What?
We're starting to feel like
that's
we aren't
crazy.
working hard enough. How about you? We feel like we have to say this though. Elon knows he works a bit much. He has gone on record to say, there were times when I didn't leave the factory.
The thing too, when he was saying $383 million per day, the only thing though about that is there's like been so many times where his companies almost went bankrupt, and he's been going at this for 20, I think 30 years, and they haven't these companies haven't really paid off until more recently. So that's a lot of time working on something that you weren't even making money off of, and a lot of faith and belief in yourself that it would happen. So it's not like, oh, he just made a whole bunch of money so easily. It's obviously not that easy, and yeah, it could have gone the other way just as fast.
For 3 or 4 days. Days when I didn't go outside. This has really come at the expense of seeing my kids and seeing friends. He's eased up recently, and it's more common for him to do 80 to 90 hour work weeks. But he also said this reduction is temporary.
Oh,
Here's what the
really?
end of the day itinerary is for Elon. He'll drive on home to his $50,000 boxable casita home. It's a 400 square foot prefabricated and foldable home, which can
Wow.
be pulled by a Tesla Model X luxury SUV. He
Oh,
confirmed
yeah.
this in
I saw that. I reacted to a video of his little mini home before, but I still don't understand like how he's supposed to have a family. That I mean, if you're a single bachelor and you don't care, okay, whatever. But if you have like a girlfriend and kids, like how are you supposed to have them live there? Or would you have like additional whatever housing attached to it? I guess.
a tweet. He said, "My primary home is literally a $50,000 house in Boca Chica Starbase that I rent from SpaceX. Once home, he'll be sure to eat a huge
I wonder why he rents from SpaceX. I wonder if there's some sort of tax like loophole of him doing it that way, or kind of curious now.
dinner. Not necessarily the best way to calorie up, but for Elon, it works. Many times, business dinners are his main source of food. Some of his favorite
Wow.
delicacies, French food and barbecue, and Diet Coke. He'll also sip on a whiskey or some wine every now and again. His time at home is also spent with girlfriend Grimes, worth $3 million, and their child. Elon will also watch some of his favorite TV shows, like Silicon Valley and Black Mirror, but he also has
Oh yeah, Black Mirror is such a crazy TV show. It's more of a, if you guys haven't seen it, you should totally watch it. It's based on the it's based on like technology if it was in a more of a negative, like how you know how technology makes our lives better majority of the time, but sometimes it could be not as good. So that's what's interesting about that TV show. It's all about if technology was used in a negative way, or what could go wrong with us using technology for everything.
stated he loves anime, specifically Death Note. He's an avid gamer with Cyberpunk 2077, a game that brought in $563 million in total sales revenue, being one of his favorites. But he has also
I'm surprised he didn't get like an Easter egg in that game, because you have these other people in there, like famous people. So I think it'd be pretty cool if one of these games, like Cyberpunk, puts him in the game as like the Iron Man or something. That'd be cool.
tweeted that one and only one console game has stolen his heart, and it was Halo. Other than that, Elon will be sure to read. There are claims that he will finish 2 books a day.
I remember playing Halo 2 for the first time like a decade ago, and it was like my favorite game.
Listen to podcasts and audiobooks, and throw the occasional party. We're not sure how big a party he'll manage in his 400 square foot home,
Yeah, right.
but we don't think that will stop him. He once rented a castle in England where the guests played hide and seek. If that's not a way to spend your
Wow. I mean, I totally would do that. That would be so much fun. Like, to rent a castle to play hide and seek. I mean, man, that would be like, because like a normal house, you can think of the typical hiding spots, like in the closet or whatever, or in the garage, or under the bed. But in a castle, that's so crazy. Like, imagine there's like secret passages and stuff. That'd be awesome.
30th birthday, we don't know what is. It's lights out at 1 a.m. for Mr. Musk, and then he does it all again the next day. Inspired yet? Gonna try to up your productivity to match Mr. Musk? Well, hold on a second. No need to try and push yourself to be just like Elon. This dude is really 1 in a million. There are claims that his IQ is as high as 155. To put that in perspective for you, the average person typically will have an IQ of 100, and in the United States, the average is 98. Only a very small percentage of people have an IQ of 130 or higher. So, Elon, yeah, the man is smart. Like, super smart. But get this, Musk has stated on Joe Rogan's podcast he doesn't believe people would like to be in his shoes, and that's exhausting. But again, he's worth $170.3 billion at the time of writing this. We think it's worth it. Before we go, we want to leave you with a routine of another billionaire that will leave you scratching your head. Ingvar Kamprad, the former CEO of IKEA, who passed away in 2018, was worth $42.5 billion and was known to drive a $22,000 Volvo that was 15 years old, would fly economy class, and eat at average everyday restaurants. Seems like being a multi-billionaire doesn't mean you have to live like one. Thanks for watching our video. We will see you next time, right here on The Richest.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, that's the thing too. There's a lot of ways you can go about it. I mean, you can go like Elon Musk's way, which is working super hard all the time. But you can also do the way like Warren Buffett, where Warren Buffett, I mean, you know, he doesn't work like physically, like physical jobs or anything, but he does a lot of reading and investing, which is very more on the passive side. So I mean, I guess there's a lot of ways to go about it, but that's crazy because I remember last time looking up about Elon Musk, it was 100 hours, and then it went to 120. Now it's back to 80, 90, but it's just so crazy that he can keep that everything so organized and be able to do this on a regular basis all the time. Like I feel like, I mean, I work a whole bunch myself. Like I don't know, I would have to between my job and my own businesses and whatnot, I probably put in like 60 hours a week, maybe 70. But 120, that's just mind blowing. I mean, he should take some time off, or at least make more time, to enjoy life. And I mean, I know he hires a bunch of people, but I feel like he should hire more people to take care of all these, like, different things. But it's a pretty interesting video and I enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, subscribe, and thank you very much.